Yeah. So,
okay, guys, we're just going to kick off now.
not sure what everybody wants. Should I go through all of it, or just a tiny bit we've added in the last few hours?
Do a very quick run through.
Very quick run through. So on Wednesday, we turned up and had a look through the data. Wanted to do something to do an end-to-end. So we had a look at the data quality of a few of the SIDS columns. So NHS number pretty much always often filled in. Some things are filled in less often. Just a rough data quality of a few reports on a few tables. But Thursday morning we got to speak with a few of the BAs and find out what they were interested in. One of the things they were interested in was being able to compare data from different providers. Things like which ones are filling in diagnosis codes, which ones aren't. So we started looking at that. So see from this, for instance, provider 10 tends to fill in 0 diagnosis codes on a A&E admission, whereas provider 13 fills in 1. It's normally either 0 or 1 on A&E would appear. Looking at the admitted ones, APC, there's a bit more of a spread. We spent a bit of time looking at different fields. So these are the procedures. It seems. We're spelling there. So it's the number of procedure codes which have been filled in. Same shape of things. See, some providers you can't really look at them, see them very well because there's only there's not that many coming from that provider. So we can have a look in terms of percentages and also drill down. Don't really have a going back thing very well though. So drilling down, and we're also told that we'd be interested in looking at filtering by treatment function code. So this is on diagnoses which are coming, which end up being treated for general surgery. I think that's meant to be just a rough idea of the general area that things are in. Took a little bit more of a look at the treatment function codes because that seemed interesting, and looking at the treatment function codes coming from different providers. So you say provider 1 tends to do a lot of rehabilitation. Some providers are more general than others, so this can explain some of the differences, probably. Provider 12, quite general. Provider 16 seems to be associated with mental health, so can explain data differences. All these graphs are taken from data which we've published in open formats. In fact, in general, the graphs are actually consuming these as JSON. Don't really have time to set it up, but you can even plug in Excel data to read from here and straight into Excel spreadsheet to play with in your own way. One of the things we look at today is just to try and consume somebody else's data a little bit. So we got some data from BGSS. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get it so that it was on the network. So we got it on a stick, and it was the ethnic code validity data, which was the first things we looked at. It's maybe not that interesting, especially with the limited data set, but it's just illustrating consuming other data, and we've published that as on here as well. I think if you look at the BGSS stuff, this is kind of a different view of the same kind of graphs. You can't see a lot here because most of the data relates to the March and April 2011. So the things here with 16, 17 you can't really see. It's looking at these are all valid. These are categorized as other, and these are the default values. Just to take another look, we can see this is by percentage. I think this would be more interesting with a fuller data set, probably, for a given value of interesting. And the last hour or so, been looking at something else we've been asked to look at is just patterns of behaviour. So, started to look at repeat visits to A&E. This is just for people coming in with that have been more than 2 times A&E in the quarter that the data's come from. In fact, looking at this, the data looks about the same for all providers, roughly. So for those where there's more than 2, most of them have come in 3 times, and then it seems to roughly quarter every when we go at one. There's a few people who seem to come in a lot, so 17 times. I guess there's a lot for A&E. 29 times here. Also,
mistake it for like a cough or something.
something I noticed is that some of the people that are coming in a lot seem to be coming in across providers, but I haven't had a chance to graph that data. And that is about it. We've been playing with data, looking at presenting data, looking at publishing data in open forms that can be consumed by other applications.